Hello, so I am Dr. Sandra Miles, a consultant with DSM Initiatives, and I do quite a few workshops on how to manage difficult conversations. Now, my workshops are generally 2 hours, so I'm going to let you know that this is going to be a quick and dirty. How can you identify when a person is no longer truly engaging in the conversation at hand, and most likely has actually been triggered and is now basically attempting to make themselves right, whether or not you realize you have called them wrong. And so the tip to identify when a person is seemingly, basically defending themselves during a conversation, whether or not that's necessary, is when they play the role of the advocate. Ignore that brace. And the reason I put advocate in quotation marks is because if it is a person who is advocating for themselves, then they are still actively engaged in the conversation. If it is a person who is playing devil's advocate or advocating for someone who has no involvement in the conversation, well, then what is most likely to have happened is that you have accidentally or on purpose called out this person's own behavior, and in the role of advocate, they are able to present a hypothetical situation that is actually probably very real for them, and essentially get you to agree or disagree that they are sometimes right when they do the thing that you brought up. So the reason why I shared this quick tip on how to recognize when your conversation partner has begun to disengage in the conversation at hand is because it's usually at that point where the conversation turns into an argument, turns into a lot of roundabout, why are we even talking about this? But you may not realize that the conversation is devolving until you've been talking for a few more minutes. And it's really at that point that there's no real reason to continue going forward. And so if you can identify in the moment when the conversation pattern is beginning to change, then you can probably keep the conversation on track by saying something to the effect of, I understand why you might want to consider other points, and I would love to do that, but first, can we finish this conversation, and then we can address other potential situations in a more concrete or orderly fashion. Something to that effect, just to recognize that you do see that this person wants to have a different conversation, but then you are affirming that you would like to finish this conversation first before you are open to having the different conversation. So I hope that little tip helped. I will continue to present my hot takes on things that help to all of us to engage in more impactful and honest conversations. And I hope that you got something out of this. Please feel free to leave a comment or leave your own thoughts on what I shared today. So have a great rest of your day, week, month, year, life. Bye.